Okay, so there's weirdness happening in the world of Valve at the moment. There's a brand new game that they've developed called Deadlock. A lot of people are playing at the moment. I saw a report that 18,000 people were playing it concurrently at one point on Steam. So it's not exactly a secret game anymore. And yet it might as well be, because there's essentially been a media blackout on the game. You can't talk about it because there's kind of what you might call a NDA, which isn't really an NDA. It stops a lot of people from actually talking about the game, except The Verge. Sean Hollister at The Verge figured out that you didn't actually have to agree to the NDA in order to access the game. So he didn't agree to the NDA, decided to play the game and report on it. And this has opened up a huge amount of controversy about whether that's sort of an ethical way to proceed. It turns out that Sean has had matchmaking privileges for Deadlock withdrawn, so he can't actually play the game anymore. I think at this point, yeah, we should say that we probably, well, we do have access to it, right, Will? I mean, everyone does at this point.
Oh, yeah, everyone, definitely.
Because, it's basically like if you have the game, you get a series of invites, right? And you can send it out to other people who can play the game.
Yeah, that's correct. So in theory, there's no reason to stop it spreading unless Valve specifically kind of clamps down on that. But I think they want people to be playing it.
Yeah, but they don't seemingly want the press to be talking about it, possibly because it's too soon. I don't know. And I can't ask you if it's too soon, Will, assuming you have played it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to say. I certainly wouldn't be able to say if that particular entry in my Steam list happened to have just updated.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it's a really strange situation because I think whenever there's this many people playing a game, people want to talk about it. People want to share their experiences. And normally you would expect that there would at least be some sort of private place where you could do that. Often if you're alpha testing or beta testing a game, you'll have access to a Discord or something where you can discuss it with employees or other players. But I don't think that that's a thing for Deadlock. So we're in this weird situation where, in theory, you could write about it, you could stream it, you could do other things. But it seems like, I don't know if it's just for The Verge in particular, but it seems like there are some actions being taken against people who do those things. So we're in a strange holding pattern, I guess, until Valve decides to make it official.
Okay. I'm just going to read a quote from Sean Hollister's Verge piece. Bearing in mind I don't own the game and I haven't circumvented any NDA agreements. I'm just quoting a publicly available article. So what is Deadlock? It's a 6-on-6 shooter like the original Overwatch, where your team of heroes attempts to dominate a map by slowly wearing down the opposing team and pushing them back. But you're also leading an army of NPC grunts down 4 different lanes to destroy the opposing team's stationary defenses, a little like Dota 2 or other MOBA games. So I think it's fair to say, John, that not having access to this game doesn't particularly upset you at the moment.
No, I actually just typed it into YouTube and there's video of it right here. Somebody just uploaded, so it seems to be out there anyway. So I'm completely baffled by this because it seems like anyone can access it. You don't have to sign an NDA, and there's video on YouTube. Like, what the heck is the deal here? Like, why are they acting this way about this game? To me, just looking at the visuals here, this at first I was like, wait, is this just Fortnite? But then no, this is actually Deadlock.
No, this is stylish.
It looks like Fortnite. It's got that same kind of look where it's just like cartoony characters with attitude running around, shooting each other, and there's colorful effects happening, and I will never play it.
I think that's a great game. It reminds me a lot more of TF2 and maybe a little Bioshock Infinite. I think there's some good style there.
I never actually liked TF2.
Oh.
I mean, I think it's good. I just don't. I can't explain it.
This.
I just find them not fun to play.
This isn't your kind of game, John.
No, okay. Actually, you know what?
This is DF law at this point. You don't like these games.
Let me clarify it. Actually, I like these. I can enjoy games like this if I'm playing with people I know, but I don't enjoy playing with strangers. Period. Like, I just find it unpleasant and also unrewarding, because when you win, nobody knows or cares, and when you lose, you're just dealing with like unpleasant people. So there's like zero benefit to doing anything in these things to play with strangers. It's just, I don't like it. And that's, a lot of people do, but I just find it not enjoyable. But if you get people together in a room and land it up, then you know what? Then this would probably be all right.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's possible.
Okay, fundamentally though, when I look back to the games I liked, it's like Quake 3 Arena, Unreal Tournament stuff, older stuff like that, Halo even. Like there's a hit reaction. You fire your guns, they react as you'd expect. There's strategy there. When I look at games like this, I just see like numbers everywhere. It's like you're just pointing a reticle at a dude and holding a button until a bar drains, and you see numbers popping off, and then it's like you do it again. It just doesn't. I don't know. What am I missing here, Will?
Well, Will, you're well into your esports.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've played an uncomfortable number of hours of Counter-Strike, and
Counter-Strike I have enjoyed. I will say, I had some fun. Even with strangers, I had some fun with Counter-Strike in the past because it's very like intense, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very fast-paced once you start shooting, and there's a lot of challenge to getting the movement right and the shooting right, which I think is quite enjoyable. For this, it does look like there is quite a lot of nuance to it. Like, as you say, you are kind of holding a mouse cursor over someone until their numbers go away. Yep. But the movement is quite interesting. There's a lot of latitude for moving around in interesting and skilled ways, which I think is a great thing to bring over from Counter-Strike. I think the style of the game, even though you don't like it, I think it's kind of got at least a more consistent visual style than something like a Fortnite. And just all the iconography reminds me so much of TF2, and just brings me back to the days where I was on a LAN playing TF2 against people in the Computer Gaming Society at Bristol. So I think there's a lot of potential.
To be
here.
fair to it, looking at the colors and such, it does kind of have this look of like, what if you tried to simulate the Fortnite visual style but using Source?
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's got softer colors. Some of the city stuff looks kind of like Half-Life 2-ish.
Yeah, definitely. I think you can find inspiration from basically all previous Valve titles here.
But anything I say on this should not be taken as a statement on its quality or appeal, by the way, just to make that clear.
Yeah, well, for sure.
We got this supporter question from Agsma. Hi DF, the Deadlock debacle is genuinely funny to me, especially when Valve went through more damaging leaks and data breaches, most notably in 2003 when Half-Life 2 was leaked, and in 2020 when the Source Engine's source code was leaked and was a catalyst to the mass bot farming that made TF2 unplayable for a lot of people. Do you think people are blowing this out of proportion? This isn't even a single-player game, otherwise I'd get the outcry. Well, there has been an outcry specifically against Sean Hollister, who dared to press escape on an NDA prompt, and also his colleague Tom Warren, who actually shared the post. And it was quite amusing to see the Sean being banned from matchmaking seemed to escalate into a whole series of imaginary pieces of retribution that Valve had acted against The Verge, which I'm reliably informed never happened. Yeah, I mean, what do you think, Will, about this concept of covering the game in the way Sean did? Did he cross a line?
I really don't think so. I think that, basically he's well within his rights to say there's a journalistic interest to report on this information. It's clearly not a secret. It's not protected by any legal agreement that he signed up for. So I think it's fair enough that you can report on it, as anyone should feel, free to do so. I think it's equally fair that Valve banned him from matchmaking. I think that, clearly they're not yet at the stage where they want to involve press, and they're also their right. So I think, I think it's really funny that everyone got so up in arms about this, because ultimately I don't think it matters too much. Somebody was inevitably going to talk about it on some major website. It turned out to be The Verge. They got banned. Fair enough. I don't think there's much more to say beyond that. If they don't get access to Valve stuff in the future, that would be a shame. But I guess they must have weighed that up before publishing. So,
yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I mean, it's a guy doing his job. John.
I mean, I agree with what Will said. I think they did nothing wrong, and I think Valve also has the right to block people from it if they so desire. You know, it's their thing.
Yeah.
So I can't really knock them for that, I guess, other than it seems a bit unpleasant, if you will.
Yeah, makes it a bit antagonistic, doesn't it?
It's weirdly antagonistic, and I just don't understand that, to be honest. Like, what Valve really gains from doing that? It doesn't seem like it would have bought them any positive press from like the community necessarily. So right. I'm a little confused as to why they felt the need to take this tactic, because the fact is, like I said, you just go out there and you type this in and there's tons of footage out there. Maybe they're like trying to take it down really fast, but I'm seeing a lot. Like, this does not seem like a secret thing to me. I had no idea what this game looked like before we started recording today. I only just found out now why this topic was happening. So, yeah, that's why it feels weird to me. It's like, what's the big deal?
Yeah, the concept of having so many concurrent players, which in turn means that, you know, there's probably an order of magnitude more people out there who actually have the game.
Right.
I mean, what are you protecting at this point?
Especially if the buzz is largely positive. It seems like it is, right? Except for people that don't like these types of games, but you shouldn't listen to them.
Yeah, John.
Exactly. Do not listen to me on this. I'm just saying stuff, nonsense. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good way to end the discussion on this one. It is what it is.
Yep.
It's out there. I mean, chances are you might even be playing it directly after listening to this direct.
Go for it.